Aloha everybody, shalom. Welcome to the first quarter activation. Make sure you're comfortable and you have some water. No matter where you are, I'm sure you could hydrate a little more in this moment. That's how you drink water in the desert, you guys. So this is the first quarter activation. These activations happen weekly. They don't necessarily have anything to do with the moon other than the fact that we use the moon as a measurement of time so that we can meet 4 times a month. What's going on in the moon is also going on inside of us, because as in one dimension, so in all. So whatever the shape of the moon is, we can look to that for guidance to understand where we are at in our own internal process. And for those of you who are joining, again, if you're someone who joins us weekly, thank you so much for bringing your presence, your heart, your love to the portal. So you guys, these are every single week. We've been doing them for years, and our community is growing. It's become a global community. If you know of anybody who might be interested in watching this live activation, go ahead and share it with them now while we prepare. Maybe you have a favorite group, meditation group, self-help, yoga, spirituality, starseed, science of the mind. Share this with those groups, because maybe, just maybe, we'll get some more fantastic people in this group who could help support the message and bring more light into the world. So go ahead and share it if you think that this message could benefit somebody, or if you think that somebody could help activate this portal even greater. Go ahead and do whatever you have to do to just let go of whatever thoughts have been on repeat in your mind today. Maybe all week, maybe all month. Just let it go just for this moment. You can pick it back up at the end, but just for this moment, let it go like you never have before. Just be here. You don't need to do anything. You don't even need to be anything other than just what you are here now in this present moment. Breathe. And I'm tuning in with you. I've had a long, busy day, so I'm meeting you here now in presence, in the heart portal. Let me know in the comments where you're tuning in from. I'm tuning in from Sedona, Arizona. I'd love to see where you are in the world. And as you see the comments of all the people who are tuned in right now, know that we're creating a global grid of light in real time. And then everybody who watches this recording, even if it's 5 years from now, they will be able to enter this portal that we're here now opening, creating. So just tune into that and understand the power that that holds. Understand the power that we hold together as one. Thank you, archetypes, faces of the one, in advance for this message that we came to receive today, humbly and gratefully. I have my tarot deck out, you guys. I'm looking at your comments. Alaska, Illinois, Canada, Venezuela, beautiful, Maine, Australia, awesome. So I have my tarot out, and I also have my custom Hebrew deck. This is what it looks like if you've never seen it before. This is one side, and then it's the letters filled with the night sky on the other side. Okay, so I'm going to use a combination today. It's so nice and quiet here right now, you guys. So good. We're at the first quarter activation. What that means is the moon is at its first quarter phase. It's telling us that last week, with the new moon, we had a new beginning. We were stepping into a new lesson. And now we're 1 week into this 4-week cycle, and there are 44 people tuned in right now. So where are we at? Just 1 quarter into this 4-part cycle. What's going on? the main thing we want to know, usually, is the challenge. Because there's always a challenge and gift that's being offered to us in any given moment. And all we need to do is ask. So let's ask. What is the current collective challenge, which will show up for us individually, uniquely? And with the other deck, I'm just going to pull 2 cards today. With this small deck, I'm going to choose the ally. Who is our ally right now as we move through this particular challenge? Hold up. All right, here we go. Woo! Okay. I feel like this guy right now. So I get it. And woo, I'm going to go straight for it because there's so much coming up right away. This is the Knight of Wands. He's known as the Fire of Fire. Knights are fire because they are active. They're taking action. And Wands is the suit of the fire element, of course, which relates to spirit. So this is the Fire of Fire card. It's about how we're using our fire element, how we're using our inner fire, how we're acting or maybe not acting enough on that fire. So when you see this card, you should immediately tune into fire, activity, expression, movement, action upon will, action upon intention. And again, this is having to do with fire, so you right away want to go to the spiritual dimension of looking at things, okay? There are other suits in the tarot, such as the suit of cups. And if we pulled cups, I would tell you to first go into the emotional dimension, explore there first. Because the element pulled is giving you the primary dimension to focus on first. Then you can explore how this is affecting you in the other elemental areas, such as emotion, mentality, physicality. But you always want to first explore the one that's pulled. So here it's Wands. So let's go straight to the spiritual dimension. What is your current passion? What is your current desire? Okay, because that's what's driving you. How purified is this passion and desire? Does there need to be more meditation, contemplation upon these desires and passions? Is there purification that needs to be done? And what I mean by that is examining what your passions and desires are and asking yourself, honestly, because you can't lie to yourself, asking yourself, are these passions and are these desires really serving the greater me? And not just the small me. You're a part of the greater me, we, right? You're a part of that one. You're a part of that one. And so, of course, you need to take care of yourself and make sure that your desires and your passions serve you. But they also want to serve you, the greater you. Because if what you're doing is not for the whole, then your satisfaction and fulfillment will be oh so temporary. And you won't be able to sustain any amount of real success or prosperity. So understand this, when you purify your desires and your passions, and you align them with the divine plan, you align them with the passions and the plan of the one, the Holy One of which we're all a part. When you do that, your plans become greatly divinely supported. Your intentions become supported by all of nature and by the spirit that lives within all things. However, if your passions and your desires are so self-serving of the smaller self, if they're selfish, you will not be supported by nature and you will not be supported by spirit, and you will work so hard, so much harder than you have to, and it will all be futile. All of your efforts will be for nothing. So it's not just like, oh, be a good human and think of everyone, not just yourself. It's like, no, for real, you must. Because otherwise you're chasing your own tail. You're never going to get anywhere. We have to do this. This is our duty. This is something that we all have to come to in our lives at some point on our journey of spiritual and psychological expansion. Ultimately, we recognize that if we serve the smaller self only, if we direct our intentions selfishly, we'll just keep on going through these lessons until eventually we get it. Because there's not really such a thing as time. We create that for good reasons, for amazing reasons. That's why we're here. But really, we're here for an eternity. We're not going anywhere. So the universe, nature, spirit, none of it cares how long you take. So, for example, all the work that you do selfishly, it's almost like if there was to be like the Holy Mother Father personified, they would be looking at you and saying, whatever, we don't really care, mess up as much as you need to. We love you unconditionally, and we know that your body's temporary, and we're going to keep bringing you back until you get it. So sure, take all the time you want. Right? So it's not like a bad thing if you have to keep going through your lessons. It's like, it's always a part of the divine plan. But why? Why would you do that to yourself? Why not take the time to learn a better way and to actually implement it? To actually be who you came here to be. To help be in service of the one. To raise this world up higher. That's why you came here. I don't know if you remember, but I'm here to tell you. I'm here to remind you. We're here to remind each other. So let's not forget again. Own who you are, because it's amazing. What your mission is here right now is so powerful. Why would you not want to step into that? Oh, it's a great responsibility, but it comes with the greatest gift. So don't be afraid of your power. Don't be afraid of your fire. And understand that the process of examining your small selfish desires and aligning them with the divine desire, the divine plan of bringing heaven to earth, okay? Redirecting your desires to make that happen. You're going to feel so much better once you push past the fear and you accept this mission and you do whatever you need to do to shift your desires so that your desires become one with the intention of the well-being of all. Then you will feel amazing. Once you just push past that fear, it's like at first it's like, oh no, I don't want to let go of my selfish desires and my poor habits. It's okay that they're not the best for me, and you just make excuses for yourself and you keep going and you're never going to get anywhere on that path. Renunciation is key. Sacrifice. You didn't come here to play small and keep doing those bad things, keep doing those things that you in your mind know are no good for you. Because all that stuff is temporary anyway. All the details are temporary. What it's really about is you learning to strengthen your will and to do good with it. Starting with your crappy habits, releasing those. So think about it. You can continue to play small and go, no, I'm just going to keep my habits. I'm just going to stay right at this level of awareness and never grow and never expand. Or you can begin to see the opportunities that are right here, right now, available to you. To start to shift the way that you think, the way that you behave, the way that you desire. Understanding that desire is our power. Desire is our power. Desire is not bad. Desire is our power. It's what motivates us. But how can we purify it? That's the key. So if you feel like you have a lot of purification to do, if you feel like you have a lot of reprogramming to do, don't be afraid. You got to start somewhere. What are you just going to keep being afraid so then you never take the first step? You've got to start somewhere. So for those of you who know how much work is ahead of you to purify those desires, I say this to you. Be excited. Notice your fear and giggle at it. But look at it. Don't turn away. Look at your fear. Why are you afraid of this process of purification? And tell yourself, I should be so excited. Because what's ahead of me is the work, the good work. And as I move through that work and I really show up for it and I do it, gifts will come. The greatest gifts that are gifts you've never received before. Okay, it's always new because as you reach those new levels of growth, the gifts reflect that. It's like a present from the universe, like a great mysterious gift that keeps coming, keeps deepening, keeps expanding as you continue to show up. So don't be afraid. Be excited about the work ahead because it's literally what's going to transform you and us. So thank you. There's more about this card, so I'm going to keep going. I love seeing you guys here. I'm feeling all of your energies. Thank you. Okay, so that's mainly it, guys. How are we using our passion right now? How are we using our fire element? What are our desires and why are they our desires? And how can we just sit with them, not in fear, but in excitement, ready to refine, ready to redefine what our desires are? And understand that our desires should not only serve the smaller self, but the larger self. And when we make that shift and when we reprogram ourselves to think in this way and to direct our energies in this way, all of a sudden, everything gets better. Oh my goodness, when you work for the one works for you, and that one is in all things. So if you stay true, watch what's going to happen. The entire universe will work to support you. Now, it's not even work, it's actually effortless. All you have to do is align with what is natural, with what is organic. You understand? Like, you have to purify your desires. You have to come back to the collective understanding, that level of compassion and knowing that we're one, and truly integrating that into your experience. And really looking at what your desires are because they are what's driving you, and understanding you must analyze those desires and make sure that they're serving the greater good. Because then everything that you think, everything that you say, everything that you do becomes supported by all and everything around you. All you have to do is align. That's it. Okay, another message for this card. Pay attention to your fire element. We were talking about fire for the new moon as well, for those of you who were tuned in. So we're clearly still working with fire. We are all of the elements. We're always working with all of the elements because they literally make up all things. But the primary focus is fire right now. So how are you expressing that fire? Have you been holding your fire back, your spirit? Is your spirit feeling like it's chained and it needs to release? Or maybe your spirit needs a little calming. Maybe you need to pour a little water on that fire. Just tune in. Stay aware of how you're using your fire, your passion. And understand that the knights are always the ones who are taking action, but later we're going to move on to the queen and the king because the tarot is a sequential story. If you like this and you want to learn more, ask me about my books. Ask me about my lessons. This is what I do, you guys. I can help you to understand how to read these symbols for yourself. Okay, so the knight comes first, and then it's the queen, and then it's the king. So the knight, where we're at right now, we're taking action, okay? We're tuning into our passions and our desires, and we're redirecting them in the appropriate ways. Then what's going to happen naturally is we're going to look back and observe. We're going to reflect on our actions. And we're going to have realizations. And hopefully they take us into our heart. And they help us to reflect on everything that just unfolded, what we learned from it, how we can do better next time, okay? And then from there we move on to the king, where we take all of those realizations, everything we did as the queen in the heart, and we raise it to the mind, and we strategize, and we act upon those realizations and those feelings, hopefully in an intelligent, conscious, and progressive way. That's the goal of reaching the true king archetype. So you see how it's a story, okay? So right now we're acting on our passions. Later, expect to reflect and expect to refine and respond in new ways. Let's see who the ally is now with the Hebrew alphabet. Woo! I can't make this stuff up, you guys. The shin is connected to fire. The letter shin in the Hebrew alphabet is connected to the fire element. There's actually 4 letters that are taken from the alphabet, one representing each of the elements. So for example, air would be the aleph, okay? Shin is the fire. You don't have to have ever seen Hebrew to be able to look at this and recognize fire. It literally looks like fire, right? Exactly, 3 little flames. And it's actually made up of 3 yuds on top, they're called. 3 points. And what this letter represents is that when you're activated in all 3 realms of your being, mind, body, soul, you have the Trinity, which activates the spirit within you, okay? It literally lights you up. It's the fire that you become when you're activated in all 3 realms. It's that completion, that wholeness. If you were to ask what tarot card is associated with the Shin, because every tarot card has an associated Hebrew letter, most decks are actually manipulated. So if you want to know the truth, reach out, private message me. I'd love to help you understand the truthful associations of the Hebrew alphabet to the tarot. So the card associated with the Shin is the world, also known as the universe, card number 21. And it's about that completion. It's about that end goal, keeping our eye on the prize of why are we even doing this? Oh, so that I could reach this next level of activation, next level lit up, next level Shekinah, or next level Kundalini, whatever you want to call it, whatever name you want to give it. That's what this card represents, is leveling up. You're on fire, you're lit. More friction is more heat, is more light. Okay, so this is ultimately the goal. You want to get to this Shin, this burning fire that's activated. Another lesson that comes with this card is, again, how are you using your fire element? How are you defining and how are you tuning into the fire element as it exists within all things, both around you and inside you? How are you connecting? Is it consuming you more? Or are you allowing it to transform you? Is it consuming you or is it purifying you? What is it doing? And it's always more on one side than the other, okay? And what I mean by that is you can look for this energy in your life, and in some places, the fire may be burning you more. And in other places in your life, the fire may be purifying you more. But it's all about you and your conscious or unconscious response to the things going on inside and outside of you. So in some areas of your, and this is all of us, because we're living in this reality of duality, okay? So all of us experience this, where in some areas of our life, we're showing up more, we're more conscious, we're more aware, and so the fire may be more healthy there. We may have more of like a synergy, an elemental synergy, which then is reflecting as, is manifesting as harmony in your environment. And then there are other areas of your life where that fire may be burning you more. So we're always embodying all of the elements, however consciously or unconsciously. But in some areas of our lives, the synergy of those elements, due to our ignorance or our lack of conscious participation, there's like some disharmony, okay? And then in other areas of our life, those same elements are present, but they're more harmonious because we're more harmonious inside and our environment is reflecting that, okay? So this is what the Shin is showing us right now. As the ally, it's all this fire. Woo! As we move through this, purifying our desires, making sure that before we unleash those horses, right? Before we unleash the horses, before we allow our spirit to burst out of us and move in the direction that we're confident it should be going in, we're first examining the direction. We're like, whoa, horsey, whoa, okay? Pulling back all that horsepower, okay? And going, let me just make sure. Because once I say go, they're gonna go. And by they, I mean me, because we're one. You gotta see the horse and the guy as one. That's a trick with tarot, you guys. You gotta see all the characters and all the things describing different elements of you. Just like that meme, I'm sure many of you have seen it with the iceberg and the guy and he's being kicked off of it, and it's like, this is God, this is God, this is God, this is also God, God, whatever you want to call it. You're all of it. Okay, so understand that image I just described of you holding those horses back. It's an aspect of yourself that you're pulling in, that you're reining in. And it's all elemental. So that aspect is having to do with your passion, your fire, your spirit. You've got a lot of it right now. We do, collectively as one right now. That's why these archetypes are speaking to us. We have a lot of fire. And we're going to use it because we know what to do. We know what to do with it. We don't even know what to do. We don't even need to know what to do with it. All we need to do is open up and allow it. But before we open up the floodgates, just check in and make sure that your desires and your passions are purified to the best degree that you could possibly do it, okay? So do your best. Do your best, and that's all you need to do. So do your best to purify those desires. Do your best to connect them to the collective and our mission. And the rest will unfold in time. Okay? So you're holding the horses back. You're refining the passion, the desires, because you know that you want to use that fire for the greatest good. And you will. We will. And we're doing that right now by just making sure that our intentions are pure. That's good. Let's say that again. We are making sure that our intentions are pure. They're about to take off. Okay, so go back in. I'm making sure my intentions are pure. You don't even need to go deeper than that. That's actually the power of simplicity when it comes to occult, real magic. The simpler the better, because it's all mind. And your ego monkey mind will try to sabotage this. So let's do it together. Let's keep it simple. And let's just keep it simple and bring it back to this one mantra. Okay? That's it. Go in and tell yourself, I'm purifying my desires. Okay? The ally is the Shin. Look to where in your life you are being burned, or you're burning others, whatever. We're all one. So whether you're doing the burning or you feel like you're being burned, that's a hint that the fire element, and therefore all of the elements, are out of whack. They're not synergistic. There's some discord there, and it needs to be looked at, and it needs to be mended. Okay? So that's what the Shin is helping us with right now. As we purify our desires, the Shin is guiding the way, and it's showing you where the elements, particularly fire, because the fire is going to guide the way. Fire first, okay? So Shin is going to guide the way and show you where the elements are not in a harmonious synergy. And they're going to show you where they are. And you're going to look at where the elements are in harmony, and you're going to learn from that, because you're going to say, okay, obviously I'm doing something right here. So what have my thoughts and my actions and my words been around that situation? Because whatever I was doing there, I was doing it right. So let me bring myself back to that place. Let me bring that amount of awareness into those areas where things have been a little rocky and where things haven't been harmonious. Okay? Shin is guiding the way. Shin is going to help you purify. Shin is going to help show you how to use your fire, and ultimately how to use all of the elements for the greatest good, so that you can feel supported and loved by your surroundings and by yourself right here, right now. Shin is going to help you make sure that your desires are good, and that your desires, which drive you, are going to help accomplish something so great, so much greater than just the small you in this lifetime. It's going to be something profound. So Shin is helping you to remember that and see where in your life you need to adjust to be able to open up to all of the support of spirit and nature, the support that literally is being offered to you through all things. It's ready. You just got to open up. So Shin is going to show you where you've been blocking yourself from that, where you've been self-sabotaging. Okay, look at the images, you guys. I was just saying a moment ago that high magic is done with simplicity. The more complex you make it, the more opportunities you leave for self-sabotage, right? So understand then the power of these very simple pictures and symbols. So simple, very basic. Look at the colors. Every single thing in this image is intentional. The way this letter is drawn is very intentional. This is why when a Torah, a scroll is written, it has to be overseen by multiple rabbis. Because if there's one line too many or one line not enough, then the whole entire code, because that's what it is null and void. Because it's intentional, it's very specific. These are codes. Even this here is a code, just like this is a code, okay? And all these colors and the particular combination and the way it's being presented is deep, high magic. And that's why you hear people saying that they're afraid of tarot, they're scared of tarot, it's dark, It's all mind. It's all about your perception and the way you define it and the way you use it, either for the one or not. There's a Hebrew word, lishma, and this means for the sake of the Creator. Everything you think, say, and do is either for the sake of the Creator or it's not. There's no in between. Stop playing. Stop lying to yourself. Okay, so going back to the imagery and simplicity and using these things for high magic, all you need to do is look at the images. Let go of the background noise. Tune into the image. Look at the colors. Let it sink in. This as well. There are pieces of art called shaviti. It's like a visual meditative aid, a tool. And they basically look like these beautiful like calligraphy Hebrew letters with like mandala art. Shaviti, S-H-I-V-I-T-I. Feel free to Google, Pinterest, and be amazed, okay? And there's a reason that those tools have been used since time immemorial, just like the Tibetan mandalas as well, right? They're visual tools, but they're not just like some pretty thing to look at. They're deep magic. So again, looking at the shin, just like looking at this card, will help you to bypass the ego mind and go straight to the subconscious where the real work is done, where we can really get to the root and reprogram what must be reprogrammed. So you guys look up the letter shin, print it out, put it on your altar, maybe make it your phone background, maybe you print it out and put it on the mirror that you look in when you brush your teeth every morning, especially in the morning and night, most important times when those brainwave states are just waking up or going to sleep. Okay? Shin, Knight of Wands. Purify your desires, not because we need to be better than anyone else or we think we're too good for anyone or we're here to be pure. Like that's not what I'm saying. I'm talking about science. I'm talking about the science of mind. I'm talking about the science of you and me. And I'm quite literally talking about the science of oneness. It's not some woo-woo concept of like, be a good person and to purify. Like, no, you must. Otherwise, you're literally giving away all of your energy to a black hole. You're just doing nonsense. You're not who you came here to be, then you're not living your purpose. And no wonder you feel drained. No wonder you feel depressed. No wonder you feel helpless. No wonder you feel like no one cares about you, or no one likes you, or no one understands you, or no one loves you. And fill in the blank. No wonder you feel X, Y, or Z. If you're not living your purpose, and if you're not making sure that your desires reflect the one most high desire of ultimately bringing, the plan of bringing heaven to earth. If you're not getting to that level, then you're forgetting who you are. You're playing small. It's like, oh, I want to make $1,000. I want to have a car. Or like say I'm like a kid. I want chocolate, right? We want all these different things. But what does your soul want? Because we're talking about fire. We're talking about the element of fire, spirit. What does your soul want? And have you thought about how your soul is one with the collective soul? What does that soul want? And how can you, right here, right now, quit wasting your time on small bullshit desires and know that you're worthy of asking for big things if you're going to use them for the biggest thing, which is the one plan of bringing heaven to earth. You see, you instantly become more than worthy. You instantly are blasted open to immediately receive all the support of nature and the universe when you remember our soul's desire and why we came here to this planet at this time in these bodies. And then you feel full of purpose. And you feel a profound sense of responsibility. And you feel hopeful for not just yourself, but the next generations to come. And for our world. You get rid of all that depression and all of like the thoughts of suicide. All of the sadness and all of your complaints fall away effortlessly when you remember why you're here, when you remember your purpose, and when you start living it. And when you start asking for the things that you need to live it, because you know and you trust 100% that you more than deserve those things, because you're not working for you, you're working for us. And you can't lie to yourself, so don't think that you can get away with getting a bunch of things when you don't actually have a good intention. It doesn't work like that. Nature literally was not designed that way. Okay? So if you really want to get to that place of believing that you deserve what you're asking for, which we obviously all want to get there. Okay? Because if you don't believe that you deserve what you're asking for, you're definitely never going to get it. That's the irony of the mind. Right? Like law of attraction 101. If you don't actually believe that you're deserving, if you don't actually believe that you're worthy of what you're asking for, then why are you even asking? Right? So not only do we have to get to that level of believing that we're worthy of what we're asking for, we want to ask, what are we asking for? And what is the purpose of that? Okay? And then when you're truly asking for things that you know in your heart and in your mind are going to support our well-being as one in this crazy time we're living in, if you're really doing that, then you will have no shame, no guilt, no fear to ask for what you know you need, for what you know we need. Okay, so when you're fully confident in what you're asking for and you believe you deserve it because, hello, you're working for this great mission, then wow, like watch how everything starts to open up for you. Everything starts to manifest so gracefully for you. And again, all of those negative things fall away because you're stepping into who you really came here to be, and you're not playing small, and you're not asking for little things. You know, think about it, all these little things that we ask for, cash or cars or houses or even relationships, you know, all these things that we ask for. Oftentimes we go through conflict where we end up not receiving it and we get upset about it, right? Instead of going, oh my God, thank you, God, Spirit, Allah, Hashem, whatever, for not giving me those things, because I needed to learn that those desires were foolish. And the happiness that I thought was going to come to me upon receiving those things was BS. And it actually is not true happiness. So thank you, Spirit, for holding out and for giving me this tough love so that I could come to this point of realization that I'm here to desire something much bigger. And I'm here to receive the fulfillment of that desire together as one with all of my brothers and sisters around the world. So not only is it going to feel great that you're living your purpose and you're consciously participating in our expansion and evolution, like if that wasn't enough, here's the second part. You're also not receiving it alone. We're getting it all at the same time, all together, okay? It's like you get a car and it's like, woohoo, what? Eventually you die anyway. That car like disintegrates into the earth hundreds of years from now, and none of that even matters. None of that even matters. And you didn't even get to share it with anybody. It was for you. It was some car that you drove around. But this is like wow, this is like you're getting so much more than a freaking car that's going to be gone eventually. You're getting something that's everlasting. We together are receiving light, more light that's going to bless this world for the future, for our kids and their kids and their kids. Oh my God, we're receiving that together right now. Amazing. And as we do this work, we receive more of that. And then we don't care about those old desires. So think about that. At one point, we're at this space of, wow, it's really hard for me to give up these little desires. It's really hard for me to give up the habit, the addiction. But when you, again, renunciation, when you sacrifice and you do the work, you look back at that time like, I'm so glad I gave that thing up. I wish I gave it up faster. Or not, because everything's in perfect order, always. But you do often find yourself in hindsight looking back and going, oh my God, that's so funny. Like, I'm so glad I gave that up because look how much happier I am now. My purpose is greater. I didn't know, and now I know. Now I remember. And so I'm going to start asking for different things. I'm going to start thanking the universe for bringing me those things in my life that I know I need to fulfill my and our mission. And no matter what those things are, whether they're big things or small things that you need on your mission, that you find yourself like needing to ask for, like, all right, universe, I'm tuning in. This is what I need. No matter what it is, big or small, doesn't matter. Don't forget, it's not about size. It's not about quantity. It's about quality. So this is a good thing they're showing me this because it's very specific. This is a good thing to remain aware of in this process as you move through it, because they're gonna show you very specifically what you need to do. They're gonna show you very specifically what you need to do, okay? Oh, there's something that they're not wanting me to show yet, so we'll just skip ahead from that. Give me a moment. I want to see if there's anything else, you guys, because I feel like there's more. No. That's it. Door is closed. We're done. We're done. That's it, you guys. Nothing more. No, the size. As you go through this, remember, you're gonna find yourself focusing on that size thing. Here it is, you guys. As you watch your thoughts, you'll find yourself going, that's too small, I need to ask for more. Or that's too big, I need to ask for less. This is your higher self calling you to be more aware of how you've been limiting yourself according to material things. According to the human mind, going, oh, this is too big, that's too small, I'm not enough, or I'm too much, all these things. So it's going to be revealed to you in what ways you've been limiting yourself, or maybe not, like just holding back from even asking what you need. Or maybe you've been asking for the wrong things. Okay, so just pay attention, because this is a part of the process where you need to observe your thoughts closely and make sure that whatever you need on your mission, you're asking for it. It's not about how big or small it is. It's not about how valuable you think that thing is, separate from the rest of all things. Okay? Your definitions of what that thing is, and none of that matters. Just know what you need for your mission, and then say, thank you, universe, for bringing this to me, because this is a part of our mission and I need this for us. Period. That's it. Okay, that was a very clear message. Don't hesitate. Any hesitation you have, as in, oh, this is too small that I'm asking, or this thing I'm asking is too big, or whatever your hesitations are, that's where you want to look. Because that's the thing that's been holding you back from being most confident in what you're asking for from the universe. What are your hesitations? What are your fears? What is your own material prison you've been setting up to stop yourself from asking what it is you really need? And know this, it's okay that you've done that, because it's all in perfect timing. And when we're being held back, it's for a reason. There are lessons. It's not time yet. But now it is time. And they're showing us that now is the time to take this opportunity, because we're supported in this moment, particularly with this mission, okay? So let's capitalize on that. Now is the time to look at that gap, okay? There's you, and then there's you asking for what you want and you know you need for our mission. And then there's that in between, there's that gap of like whatever is our doubt, whatever is our fear, whatever is that like internal dialogue going on in that moment that's holding you back from just asking. That's that gap that I'm talking about. What's filling that gap right now? How could you clear that gap to open up the channel? How have you been not fully jumping into your experience, not fully asking for what you need because you're over here going, do I really deserve this? Do I really have a right to ask for this? It's too much, it's too big, I can never manifest this. You see what I'm saying? All those thoughts are filling that little gap. It's like they're showing me it's like a pipe that's clogged right there. And this is energetic, okay? And it's mental, it's emotional. How can we see what's been holding us back from fully asking for what we know we need to support this mission? And look at this, guys. How could you even get to that point of unclogging that pipe or stepping into your fullest confidence without purifying your desires, without purifying your fire? How could you even get there if your desires are small and stupid and selfish? If your desires are small and stupid and selfish, that pipe is going to be super clogged up, and there's nothing you can do about it until you purify and unclog that pipe. You know what I'm saying? You got to purify your desires, and only then will that pipe or that channel become clear. Because your soul, your real fire within, okay, your real shin within, your shin within is pure, and it can't be tainted. And that fire inside is what's pushing you to ask for what you know you need. And when you're in that space, when you're in that purified space and you're in that frequency of your purified desire, there's no clog, there's no block. You move forward with grace and you confidently ask the universe, the one, for support without hesitation. But if your desires are not purified, what happens is we cultivate shame, we cultivate fear, we cultivate guilt. That's just how it is. Unpurified desires cultivate these things, and they are the things that clog the pipe. And then from there, there's no way you're going to get through to the other side of being able to confidently ask for what you want. Because there's a part of you that knows it's not right. And there's a part of you that knows I'm not deserving. There's some part of you that's holding on to guilt, and you know what you're doing is not right, yet you continue to do it. And so you have this internal conflict. Your contracts are not aligned. You're lying to yourself. You're creating a fragmentation. You're splitting the parts of yourself to be disharmonious. There's like a discord. And that's what clogs the pipe. And that's what says, nope, you can't get through. It's that gatekeeper. Even that pipe is you. You see what I'm saying? That's another archetype. The pipe is another archetype. The pipe is like the gatekeeper or the high priestess in you that will say, nope, you're not getting through now. We got to work on this before I let you get through to ask for what you want. This is the divine design of the universe, okay? You can't get what you really want unless it's going to support life, because the divine design is it supports the well-being of all beings. Okay, so the shin within, that purified flame that can never be tainted, is the thing that you want to get in touch with right now. Do whatever you have to do to get in touch with that innermost purified flame and let it guide the way. Let that light guide the way. And when you get to that space and you align your thoughts and your words and your actions with that space, you mend the conflict within, you unite the parts of yourself within, all of your contracts become aligned. They're in agreement. You're in agreement with yourself. And then you move forward asking for the things that you want and that you need, because you have no shame and you have no guilt and you have no fear. There's nothing there because your thoughts and your words and your actions are aligned with your beliefs. You're in your integrity. And when you are authentic and in your integrity, that pipe is cleared and the channel's opened, and you can ask for what you need or want, and then know that you're going to receive it with full confidence. You don't even have to stop to try so hard to think about how I'm going to ask, because that hesitation is only reflecting the fear, the shame, the guilt, which you don't have anymore. You don't have, because you're aligned within. Okay, so you don't hesitate. You don't even need to think of how you're going to ask or when you're going to ask or why you're going to ask. You just ask for what you need as it comes up, because that's just a natural part of your process. And then when it shows up, you just receive it, because that's a natural part of the process. Okay, because that limitation that's created out of the fear, guilt, shame, etc., also shows up in the receiving aspect. You won't even be able to receive what you're asking for if you have that block of shame, guilt, or fear. Okay, so when you purify that and you unclog the pipe, you are giving and receiving effortlessly. You won't find yourself any longer saying, I'm tired of always being the giver. I'm tired of always being the giver. That's an old program. You won't find yourself saying that anymore. And again, you won't find yourself getting stuck every other day with this depression of, I don't know what I'm worthy of. I don't know what to ask for. I don't even know how to ask for it. All those problems, gone. Because you're aligned with your purpose. You ask for something when you need it. You receive it when it shows up. And that's it. No big deal. They're showing me a very clear picture now that we've, as we go deeper in the reading, this is always what happens. And so we see the picture from an ever wider lens, right? So now I'm seeing that this is it, you guys. This is the work. We are collectively realizing our greater purpose, unclogging that pipe together. And we're not going to any longer be wasting all of our thoughts on, are we giving too much? Are we receiving too much? Are we in the light too much? Are we in the dark too much? Are we on this side too much? Or are we on that side too much? Because that is what's keeping us in the division consciousness, in the separateness consciousness, which, do you guys see right now where our world is at? We are there. There's so much division. And it's okay. If we use that observation for the greatest good, then all of this pain becomes a blessing. So can we do that together? Can we just do that? Yes, there's a lot of division, and it's okay, because all that's temporary anyway. So let's look at it, not be afraid of it, but be excited about it, like we said at the beginning of the video, and see how we could use that division and our awareness of it to bring us closer together, closer than ever before. Okay, so right now, bear with me, you guys. Close your eyes and tune in, okay? Right now, all of us are really in this space of the scales going back and forth. Am I black or am I white? Is it good or bad? Is it here or there? Am I giving or am I receiving? You're both, you're both, you're both, you're both, you're both. And not only are you both, you're all things. So stop with this swinging and let's meet in the middle where the heart is at. Stop this with all this back and forth. Let's come back to the middle. We should be asking for what we need in a much easier way. We've complicated this process so much. And this idea that it's so hard for us to ask for what we need, and it's also so hard for us to receive, because all of us usually feel both of those things. It's hard to ask, it's also hard to receive. Or at least we feel one or the other. It's hard to ask or it's hard to receive, usually both. We're all in this place right now. It shouldn't be that way. It should be so much easier. It shouldn't even be a thing. But then again, it is, because we're learning from it right now. We're evolving right now. We're learning from this right now. Why has it been so hard for us to ask for what we need? Oh my God, that's so deep when we look at that. Why have we been feeling unworthy? Oh my God, let's look at that. Let's look at that individually and as a collective consciousness. And wow, the shadow work that just immediately pops up. All the opportunities for growth right there in that one question. Right? So it's like, let's know right now that we're all things. Let's know that we're both sides of the spectrum, and we're here to find that balance. It shouldn't be so hard to ask for things, but it has been, because we kind of forgot who we were. We kind of didn't feel we're worthy. We kind of forgot our purpose and forgot how amazing we are and what we came here to do. And we forgot so that we could remember together in a more powerful way than ever before. Oh, beautiful. Purposeful amnesia, amazing. We did this on purpose. Great. Let's accept that and move forward now. Okay, we've been having trouble asking. We've been having trouble receiving. That's an old story that we're now rewriting in this moment together. I ask with ease because I know that what I'm asking for is justified because I'm working for the one. Now we're talking. Of course I receive. I'm a natural transmitter. All I do is give and receive all day. I receive the breath, I give the breath. I receive the elements, and I also give to the elements. Literally just by breathing, literally just by being. You are a giver and a receiver. Stop with this old story of I'm only a giver, I give too much. No, we do both. So let's just look at the ways in which we do both, accept that we're always doing both, and refine the ways that we do both. Okay? This is the root of all the other issues we're having. We need to accept both of our polarities, the mother and father within, the masculine and the feminine, the active and the receptive. This polarity or alchemical marriage work is everything. It's everything. It's the foundation of everything else. Okay, so let's understand we are both of those. And when we fully accept that and unite those two as one within us, then we walk around like, I know what I need to ask for. And when it shows up, I'm gonna recognize it and I'm gonna say, here I am, and I'm gonna receive it. Because I'm staying aware of my mission. I'm staying on top of my desires, that passion that's pulling me. I'm staying on top of it and I'm directing it. I'm consciously directing my will. And I'm not forgetting, I'm awake now. And so I will walk with grace and ease on my journey as I continue to ask for what I need and then receive it. Simply. There's no more hesitation of doubts, fears, all that falling away. Know your mission and know what you need to complete it and ask for it. Big or small, doesn't matter. Whatever it is, the universe doesn't care. Why do you care so much? Why are you trying to micromanage God's job? Okay? So purify your desires and then watch how all of the world supports you in your mission. Don't care about, wow, like it's like, I need a pot of gold for this mission. And then we're like, oh, but that's a lot of money. I don't really deserve that money. Maybe I should ask for a little less money. No, how much freaking money do you need to complete the mission? That's the only thing that really matters here. It's not about what you think about that money or any of that. It's just like, we are one consciousness. I am here to serve that consciousness. This is what I need. So God, thank you for giving it to me. And I will receive it now, ready when you are. Boom. That's it. That's it. Don't get stuck there. Don't get pulled into the material entanglement when you're asking for that pot of gold and you all of a sudden go like into your subconscious and like old programming comes up and you go, that's a lot of gold. I don't know if I deserve that. I don't know what I did to deserve. I haven't really worked much lately, and I feel like you're supposed to work for money. These are old programs. I feel like I should have worked harder for this, so maybe I shouldn't ask for this. All these thoughts, stop. Know what you need for the mission and be honest with yourself. Look, if you come to that place where you need to ask for that pot of gold, right? But upon asking, you go, do I really need that for the mission? Be honest with yourself. Because if you know you don't really need that pot of gold, you shouldn't be asking for it. Do you know what I'm saying? This is why we need to refine our desires. Really look at them as we're doing that. Because if you don't fully face them, your ego will trick you and you won't reach the deepest level of initiation here now being offered to you. So be honest with yourself. There's only one here. Why lie to yourself? Face it all now, head on. So again, pot of gold. Do you really need it? And if you're confident in that, then ask for it and stop hesitating. Just do it. That is complete. I feel complete. Thank you guys for receiving this message with me together here now as one. If you know of anybody who could benefit from hearing this message, please share this video with them. It's also going to be uploaded to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/RebeccaMagic. There's a lot of other fun stuff on there too, so if you want to check that out, I invite you to do so. Go ahead and hit follow on my Facebook if you enjoyed this, if you want to join us again next week and maybe even the week after that. Thank you for bringing your power, your presence, your love to this portal. If you guys want to stay connected to this amazing community, there's a private group on Facebook called The Royal Path. You can go ahead and join that, and feel free to share in there on the topic of archetypal activation, archetypal awareness, self-improvement, self-realization, science of the mind, occult symbolism. Yep, we talk about all that in the group. I also have another private group if you're interested in Jewish mysticism and Kabbalah. Every weekend for Shabbat, I post my favorite articles and resources to learn about the current Torah story in a way that applies to you right here, right now. So that's called Shabbat Crew. The two groups are the Royal Path and Shabbat Crew. And thank you all for your amazing feedback on my book. I'm really appreciating it. Book 1 and 2 of the Royal Path are now out, and together they complete a full guide to the tarot in a way that I promise you've never seen before. In any book, in any crystal shop, or in any library, I share some really personal information and insights that have helped me on my journey with tarot for many years. So it's straight from my heart, you guys. Thank you for supporting, and thank you for reaching out. I also have video lessons on the tarot. All I need is an email, and I send you the files. It's super easy. If you want more information on that, just reach out. They're nice, long, in-depth classes on each of the major arcanum cards of the tarot. And yes, I'm available for one-on-one readings. Please private message me if you're interested, or email bexmagic, BEXMAGICK, @gmail.com to ask for more information about how to schedule a session with me. All right, you guys. So good to see you all here and be with you. Thank you so much. I'll see you in 2 days in our Shabbat Crew group. Aloha.